it's Friday. I miss you guys. Okay, let's talk about writing. So, you're going to watch this video, and I want to tell you a couple of things before you do. Number one, she's going to start talking about your new information book. If you did not finish the information book that we started on Wednesday, don't freak out. She's going to give you some tips that you can use to make that one even better. And you'll find them in the lesson in Otis. It should have appeared today, called Information Writing. And it's called Include Specific Details. She's going to talk about it and show it in her video. And so you could go back to the information piece that you began on Wednesday and make it even better with more details if you like. However, you are welcome to start a new information piece today, like she talks about in her video. I hope that you can use your writer's notebook or some loose paper that you have. You can staple it together if you want to make the pages like she does. And so you can choose a new topic today and write that in your writer's notebook. We're still doing all of this work in our writer's notebook, but it's really important that you're putting in the time and doing the writing. So sit back and relax and enjoy the video.
You have an exciting job this month. These information books that you're writing right now, you're not just writing them for me. I mean, of course, I'm going to read them. I'm going to love to read them. You're not just writing them for your teacher either, or for yourself. In fact, you're writing them for your classroom library. That's right. The books that you're writing right now will live in the bookshelves of your classroom library so that the kids next year get to read them. Isn't that exciting? Today, you're actually going to start your second book. But this new book that you're about to start today is going to be so much better than the book that you just finished. And that's because it's going to be your second book. You have more experience now. So how do we come up with a topic for your second book? To do that, let's take a look at this chart. What is something that I could write about? What is something that I spend a lot of my time doing? Well, I spent a lot of my time doing laundry. Could I write a book about that? I guess I could. I spent a lot of my time actually taking care of my pet cat. Could I write an information book on how to take care of a pet cat? I bet I could. Let's think about the places that you've been to. I mean, one place that I go to a lot is the Chinese restaurant next to my apartment. Could I write a book about Chinese food? Sure, I could. Another place that I've been to is New York City. Could I write a book about New York for someone who's never been there? I think I could. So right now, would you, for just a second, close your eyes and think about some places that you've been to, places that you know really well? Because any one of those places could be your next book. Take a couple of seconds, decide. What is something that you spend a lot of your time doing? Or a place that you've been to? Or a topic that you've studied? Maybe a sport that you play? Maybe an occasion that you celebrate? I celebrate Eid. I could write about Eid. I could write about pop culture too. I mean, could I write a book about my favorite singer, Enrique Iglesias? Sure, I could. I could write 3 books about him. I know so much about Enrique. Is there pop culture that you know really well that you could write about? So many choices, but pick one. I'm actually going to teach you something that is always, forever going to be helpful to you whenever you're writing information books. It's something you might have heard before, but anyway, here it is. Today, I want to teach you that information writers write with specifics, not generalizations. That means that they write with exact names, with exact numbers, with exact shapes, exact colors, exact quotations. Okay, let's say I was writing my book about Chinese food. Here's how it might go. Page 1, I'm going to teach you all about Chinese food. There are many different kinds of appetizers. Page 2. The appetizers are followed by the main course. Page 3. You end the meal with dessert and maybe a fortune cookie. Does that sound like a very informative book? No, it's too general. There are no specific exact details, right? If I wanted to start with a page on appetizers, I want to give exact details. I want to be super exact about names. I want to be exact about what ingredients go into those appetizers, maybe exact details about their shape, how they taste, maybe even some details, some specifics about how they're made or what different kinds there are. Can you think aloud with me right now? What specific details can I put around appetizers? Go ahead, think out loud with me. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? It's enough to make my mouth water. I literally just thought of very specific, very exact appetizers. Soups, spring rolls, and dumplings, in that order. Okay, so I'm going to try and capture some of these details in a sketch. Soup, rolls, dumplings, but not just any kind of soups. I want to put specific details of soups, specific rolls, specific kinds of dumplings. I hope you notice what I just did. I could have written a very general page saying, you start a meal with appetizers, ho hum, right? I didn't do that. Instead, with your help, I put in exact details, exact names, exact kinds, even the exact ingredients. Today, when you start your second information book on a second topic, you're going to do what I just did. Instead of just writing general information about this new topic, you want to think about exact, specific details. In a minute, you're going to get started with writing. As you do, ask yourself, what am I putting on each page? You might want to touch each page and talk about what goes there. Then you might want to sketch what each page will have. And then you want to touch that page and write. And as you're writing, remember, ask yourself, what kinds of questions might my reader have? And try to answer those questions. They could be who questions, what questions, why questions, where questions, when questions, how questions. Put yourself in the shoes of your reader and try to ask and answer questions. That way you'll be able to write a lot on each page. But remember, don't just write with general information. Try to include exact, specific details, not just in this information book, but whenever in life you are doing any kind of information writing. Are you ready to start your second book? Okay, grab your booklet, grab your paper, and get started right away. Off you go.